Show. The Tach Melody Show.
It's the Tach Melody Show, bitches!
The Tach Melody Show.
Hey, what's poppin'? This is Tach Melody from the Talk to the Melody Show, and you are tapped into season 2, episode 3 of our show. So tonight I have a very special guest on with me. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Peace, everyone. I go by the name Kid Call Quest, one half of the duo Young Black and Gifted, representing Rochester, New York.
All right, nice. All right, so kid, can you let us know how did you get started in your craft?
The crazy thing, always, every time I tell the story, I learned everything by accident. Like it wasn't planned. It just spontaneously happened. I remember I skipped a Regents exam at school. I was in 8th grade, and my teacher told me, she said, I believe it was a social studies or a math. It was one of them. She was like, "You can't graduate until you pass the test. So if you don't pass the test this year, you always can do it again next year. But you got to pass in order to graduate." So as soon as she told me that, like, well, damn, I ain't got to take it this year. Then I'm about to skip this test. So I remember I left school early that day. I went home and I had to hang out. I had to stay on the low for at least good 2-3 hours because I didn't want my mother waking up, seeing me home early. You know, it would have been some trouble. So I hung out and chilled in the basement, and my brother, he had this old keyboard. It was a Casio keyboard. It was just sitting around. I got bored and started playing around with it. And I sat there for like almost an hour or two, just playing, just messing around. And then within that little time right there, I learned how to like set bars and set the sequencer and everything on there. And I was just sitting there creating melodies, you know. At that time in the early 2000s, this would be about 2001, 2002. At that time, you know, it was Swiss beats. So I'm sitting there just playing stuff out, trying to mimic Swiss beats and all that. And, you know, I made a couple beats. I mean, I didn't know what a kick or a snare or a hi. I didn't know what none of that stuff was. So I'm just sitting there finding the similar sounds and all that. And started making beats. I mean, they was trash, of course, you know, but having fun with them, learning. And that's how it all started from there. Then as time went, my brother, or my man, Divine God of Law, peace to him, he actually really, he's one of the main reasons why I took it even further. He taught me how to use the MPC 2000. And I remember I learned that within about 2 or 3 days. I learned how to program on it, sequence on it, sample on it. I pretty much learned a lot of all the basics. I used to always go over to his house every day just so I could make a beat, sample something, make a beat. He also had the S950. That's something I always forget to mention. But yeah, I always go over there and play with the 2000. And it used to get to the point he used to leave the door unlocked for me. He'd be like, because he was getting annoyed sometimes in the morning, like, yo, want to bang out some joints. I got these samples I found on these CDs. He'd be like, yo, God, I'm just gonna leave the door unlocked. Just come in the crib, you know, bang out. But before you leave, just make sure you lock up everything and sit there and make beats. And then about a few months later, my older brother, he ended up getting the 2000 XL, which it made it even more easier for me to get access to an MPC because I was already familiar with the 2000. So whenever my older brother used to leave, I'd sneak in the basement, start messing with his machine. And I remember I got tired of the actual little stock sound drums that came with it. So I went through every record crate that my brother had in the basement, and I sampled every open drum sample that I could get to create my own. Basically, I didn't know I was creating my own kits, but I was just taking these drums. So I hear a Primo open drum sound, I sample it. I hear like a Irv Gotti open drum sound. I was just sampling every drum's open sound I could find. And from there, you know, I started listening to some other records that my brother had, like Alchemist. He had this instrumental series he was doing back in the day. It was this green record. So I used to sit down, I listen to Alchemist beats, and I'd be sitting there trying to figure out, like, dang, how does he get that drum pattern to do this in the middle of the beat? So from there, I went back to the 2000, the MPC, and I was just mimicking and stuff. And that's how I learned how to set, set the little breaks in between the beats, the little breakdowns and all that stuff. So
Mm.
sitting there mimicking different producers and learning more as I continue to go. And then when I turned 16, I couldn't wait because I was now in New York State. I was old enough to get a job, and I remember the first job I got was at a McDonald's, and I was working like crazy. Like this at the time, I was probably getting like $5.15 an hour, but I was busting out hours like crazy. Like I'm about to get me a 2000 XL. I'm about to get me an MPC. I'm gonna have one before October, and I worked so much and sneaking in hours, taking people's shifts that I actually almost got fired for working too much, which made no sense. But I eventually got it, and
Right.
I continued. And around '05, I dropped my first serious project, which was J Quest versus Ninth Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
At the time when I was going by the name J Quest, and it was like a little CD. It was originally my brother's idea because he was going to do Sight versus Kanye West, because Kanye was the new dude at the time. It was Kanye, Just Blaze, Alchemist, and Ninth Wonder. Those are the new dudes at the time, man. My brother, he slept on that idea, so I told him I was going to take that idea and run with it.
Right.
Wonder, and I did it. It was a little project. I wasn't like taking it serious, but
Mm-hmm.
I made like a couple hundred copies of it, and next thing you know, my name is all over the place. People bootlegging the CD. I'm getting hits on, like people's calling me. I'm getting hit emails and stuff. This is by the time. This is before I even learned how to actually beats to use emails. Like people's actually hitting me. I used to always get the You Got Mail thing. It was an AOL. I used to always get the You Got Mail, but I didn't know how to actually use the actual email. But people were like, "Yeah, got the copy of the CD, and the beats is fire. Yo, I want to get some beats from you and all that. I want to buy some beats." And at that time, I remember I was selling them dirt cheap, and I was getting a lot of them off. But I was getting so many requests that I didn't have enough beats to keep up with the requests, and I kind of let that, some of that fold. But
yeah. So let me ask you then, where are you located now, and how is the music vibe there?
I'm in Rochester. I'm located in Rochester, New York.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in between Buffalo,
Right.
5 minutes from Buffalo, and about hour and a half, about an hour and a half from Syracuse. So we
Okay.
like right in between, because we like 2 hours from Toronto.
Okay.
So we right in between.
Okay.
But the music scene here, it's like any other city you go to. You got this type of crowd, you got that type of crowd, you got the trend following crowd. You got same thing. Same anywhere else you go, it's the same thing.
Okay. So, what is your creative process like when you are creating your beats?
My creative process, sometimes I'll find a sample, I'll chop it up, and then before I lay down my drums and stuff, I'll get the sample laid down, and I'll play with the hi-hats on top of the sample. And I do that so, like, because the hi-hats always give you that feel. It gives that feeling to me, at least to me. It always gave me I always got that feeling from it, like, all right, it's getting me amped up. And then I followed up with my snare, and then follow with my kicks. And I
Mm-hmm.
like to do a lot of drum stacking and layering. So I
Okay.
create my own drum sound. But yeah, from there, I lay down one main sequence. If I'm gonna put a bunch of sounds in it, I'll put a bunch of sounds in that one sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Then once I'm done, I feel like I got enough on there. Then I'll copy the sequences, and I'll start breaking them down and taking certain sounds out of certain sequences, and then go from there. So then I already have, all right, this the verse part already down, or the part with all the sounds and everything in it. That'd be like the hook part. And I'll copy, like I said, I'll copy that. This one would be the verse. This would be the switch up in the verse. This part right here would be the switch up before the hook comes back in, vice versa. But it also depends what mood I'm in too.
Okay. So, at what moment did you realize that you wanted to become a music producer?
The moment I realized I wanted to take it serious was when I dropped that CD, that first CD, and people was like, "Yo, you dope, man. You need to keep going. You need to keep it up." And
Mm-hmm.
I remember a couple legendary artists got their hands on it. They was telling me the same thing, like, "Yo, don't stop, keep
Yeah.
going." And I remember there's this magazine out in the UK called the Raggle magazine. It was a hip hop magazine.
Mm-hmm.
A dude named Trickster. I'm not sure how they got the copy of the CD, but they had did a little write up on it, and it was crazy.
Oh, nice.
It was like, "Oh, this is by
All right, guys, it looks like we're having a little technical difficulties, so let's give them a moment. All right, so let's take it back. So let's talk about your first release tape. How did that help shape your career moving forward?
That actually played a big role because a lot of people remember to this day. A lot of people bring that up. That first CD, J Quest vs. Ninth Wonder. So it actually helped lay down the foundation, and it helped me get my name out there. Because like I said, like the bootleggers back then, like everybody was getting their hands on that CD, and it was getting out to the West Coast. People in Canada, people in the UK, like it was going everywhere. And like I said, I never intended for it to go that far. But yeah, people all over. It had me surprised. Like I remember when I first went to Boston for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
We was on the subway in Boston. And I remember I was handing out a CD, and the kid was like, "Yo, you J Quest? I got your CD, J Quest vs. Ninth Wonder." I was like, "Oh shit, for real?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, yeah, nah, it definitely got out there. A lot of
Nice.
people had hands on it. And I
Okay.
remember the second follow up that I did after that
Mm-hmm.
thing called it was it was this what was it called, the mix unit. There was this thing called the mix unit back in the day, where they used to actually sponsor people mixtapes and everything. And they had a big website where they sell the mixtapes. So like you was able to get your mixtape on it. That mean that it was making a lot of rounds and it was people was actually hearing it and all that. And I remember they actually got their hands on my second one from somebody who got their hands on the first one. And the dude told me he wanted to sponsor my mixtape, or not my second instrumental tape. And they actually slapped their official logo on it. And I remember they had my instrumental up there with Just Blaze instrumentals and Don Cannon's instrumentals for like a week or two before the big DJ Drama situation with the mixtapes, before they had that big raid, and then they made
Mm-hmm.
those mixtapes down, and that website, of course, they pulled everybody's stuff down too. So I was like, damn. So yeah, nah, it definitely motivated me to keep going and continue to do what I do.
Right. So let me ask you this. So what were some of the struggles you faced and continue to face in your craft right now?
The struggles is really is like it's pretty much similar to the same struggle everybody else go through. It's just trying to maintain, keeping a budget so you can continue to push the music and get
Mm-hmm.
it out there. I mean, because like as far as the creative part, we got that solidified. So
Yeah.
that's 100%. That's a goal right there. It's just being able to fund it. Always trying to think of ways like, all right, got to figure out a way to fund this, or how can
Right.
I do this to help me do this, to help me get this here from here. So it's just about just trying different strategies and everything and seeing what work and what don't work. And I've been fortunate enough to continue to drag it and keep it going and getting into new outlets and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
keep myself out there on the internet and everything, and getting interviews and stuff.
Nice, nice. And who are some of the artists you have and continue to work and collaborate with?
Some of the artists I worked with, Big Shug from the Gangstar Foundation. Shout out to Big Shug. He was actually my first official. His album Other Side of the Game. That was my first official album placement.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Justin Bailey or Bell who put that together, who hooked that up. That was like a miracle itself, because I remember like MySpace back in the day, I was just spamming people inboxes and everything, and people used to always kill me about it. Like, oh man, I don't like tagging people or spamming, but I always look at it like this: like, how you expect to be heard?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to be heard, especially if you ain't got no budget or nothing, and you doing this independently, so you gotta do whatever you gotta do to get heard. So I always looked at it, either they're gonna listen to it or they're just gonna block me. And I
Right.
do it, but by me doing that, like a lot of that tagging and stuff, I
Mm-hmm.
got discovered doing a lot of that. And I got lucky enough to where I actually tagged the right person, and he hit me back. At first I thought it was just somebody playing around,
Mm-hmm.
because he's telling me that he has some artists that he's working with, and sent some beats over. And I remember I sent some beats, ain't hear nothing from the dude for like almost a good 6-7 months. Then he hit me back out the blue, like, yeah, you just got an album placement, but he wouldn't tell me who it was right away yet. So then he hit me back. He said, I'm gonna hit you back when everything's 100% on confirmed. Then he hit me back like almost 4 more months later after that. And that's when I found out I had got the album placement on the Big Suge project. And
Nice.
then from there I had got a couple other placements with some
Mhm.
other artists. And then I started doing, and then about a few years later after that, I started doing my own thing, doing my own compilations and everything.
Mhm.
And getting more placements here and there, but was
Mhm.
just more focused on building up the brand and everything, because I had to change the name from J Quest to Kid Called Quest now, because there was another dude named J Quest that had the same name, and he was hitting a lot of people up and getting everything confused, like doing a bunch of nonsense, and people
Mhm.
was thinking it was me. And they got to
Mhm.
the point where a couple opportunities got messed up because of that. So I was like, I can't continue this. Like, I gotta keep the Quest in the name, because
Yeah.
everybody. So I was like, I'm gonna do something bold. And I said, I don't think nobody's gonna try to bite this one. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go by Kid Called Quest. And like, I knew it was gonna be a lot of backlashes for that, but I'm prepared to take the bruises and everything. But I will get to the point where people start respecting the name.
Right. Right.
Took me a minute. I was getting people was getting on me about it real hard, but I kept the good music coming, and
Mhm.
eventually a lot of the people, one of them actually a big fan of mine now, who was probably one of the biggest bashers. But once they got familiar with the music, and
Yeah.
the quality just kept coming, people was just getting drawn in.
Nice. And how was your experience working with Cool G Rap?
Coogee Rap, that shout out to my man G Fisher, matter of fact. He the one that he put that together. Because I remember he hit me out the blue. He's like, he needs some beats. He's like, yo, he's doing a joint with Coogee Rap. And I was like, oh, word. Because at first I almost was about to pass up on it, because I had a bunch of other stuff that I was doing.
Mhm.
So luckily the kid who I originally was gonna send the beat pack to, luckily he flaked out and then come through on his part of the deal. So I ended up taking them same beats, and I sent them to my man G Fisher. And I was like, dang, I wasn't 100% sure. Like, dang, G Rap might not mess with any of them. But like they always say, stuff that you like personally, that you think that somebody.
All right, guys, give him a minute. He went out again. Give him a minute.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
we're back and mm, talking about Cool G Rap.
yup. So yeah, my man G Fisher, I sent him the beat pack, and he said he's sending the beats out to G Rap to let him pick what he wanted. So I was like, dang, I don't think G Rap's gonna pick any of these. I'm not 100% sure, but he surprised me by the one that he picked, and that was the one that he used for Rocking with the Greatest. And I was like, wow, like a million years, like I was like, dang, I didn't think he'd rap on something like that. But that was the beat that he picked, and I know he had the video for that, and got that song out there. And from there, me and G Fisher, I think it was another joint that we ended up doing too. But now it was definitely a good feeling hearing one of your favorite rappers
Yeah.
grew up to listening to rap over your stuff.
Nice, nice. So, are there any upcoming projects for you?
Yep, I have quite a few upcoming projects that I'm working on. Shout out to my man 2100 Bags on Detroit. We just wrapped up his project, Ghetto Poetry. That'll be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my man Azariah, we just wrapped up our group project, Stages of Reality. That's gonna be coming soon. I got a bunch of singles I'm gonna be dropping.
Okay.
You can see you'll be expecting those soon. I actually might be dropping something next week. See how things go. What else I got? Got that. Me and Tito Lopez, we just wrapped up our project. It's getting mixed down right now. The 808 theory, so that'll be coming soon.
Okay.
Yeah, just staying busy, just dropping as
The
much.
same, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where can our viewers tap in with you for beats to listen to a lot of your samples?
You could check some of my work out at kidcallquest.bandcamp.com,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just type my name in on whatever your streaming platform is. You can also follow me on Instagram at kidcallquest or at kidcallquest on the beat. And
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, if you're still using Twitter, kidcallquest. Everything's kidcallquest.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you want the world to know about Kid Called Quest, and what do we have to look forward to?
About to keep shining and keep grinding, and hopefully I become a household name, and
Mm-hmm.
just trying to leave my mark on the game and carry on the tradition.
Facts. And would you like to do any shout outs to anyone?
Yeah, shout out. Let me remember. I'm always bad at these. But shout out to my brother DJ Sight. Shout out to my man Curtis Coke. Shout out to my man Azariah. Shout out to Pretty Bully. Shout out to Smoke. Shout out to DJ Chris G. Shout out to 2100 Bags, Tito Lopez. Shout out to my man Mook the Truth. Shout out to V Secrets. Shout out to who I forget. Shout out to my man DJ Joe Cool for Beat Miners Radio. Shout out to my man R Mental. Shout out to my man DJ Gates. Shout out to all the DJs that's been supporting the music and helping me get it out there. Even the blogs and the websites too. Shout out to all y'all, and shout out to everybody rocking with Kid Called Quest and the Young Black and Gifted movement.
All right. And thank you so much for joining me on my show tonight. And you guys, please stay tuned in and tapped in with Tach Melody from the Talk to the Melody show. And we out.
Thanks again for this opportunity.
All right.
The Tach Melody Show. The Tach Melody Show. The Tach Melody Show.
It's a Tach Melody show, bitches.
The Tach Melody Show. The Tach Melody Show.
It's a Tach Melody show, bitches.
The Tach Melody Show. The Tach Melody Show. The Tach Melody Show. The Tach Melody Show.
It's a Tach Melody show, bitches.
The Tach Melody Show.